Welcome back to the Varsity Voices. It's another day in Zuko's All-Dawg team, the 12 Days of Dawgs. And today we are shining the spotlight on the big dogs up front, the offensive linemen, the unsung heroes of every drive, the ones who don't get the headlines but make all the highlights possible. These trench warriors fought in the mud, protected their pack, and brought the bite on every snap. Dan, when I was going through and picking my offensive linemen or looking at and reviewing some of the ones there, I ended up with 3 guys on my 5, because we're picking 5.
Yeah.
I ended up with 3 that are over 315 pounds.
Wow.
So they're big. These are big guys.
If you are looking to buy or sell a home, contact RE/MAX Realtor and Circle of Legends recipient Christopher Cobb. Let Chris's extensive negotiating experience work to guide you on all of your real estate buying and selling needs. Contact Christopher now to discuss the right strategy for your personalized real estate buying and selling plan. His number is 630-420-0070, or you can visit his website at christophercobb.com. Yeah, they're big boys, and you know, they just seem to keep getting bigger. I mean, you remember, we're dating ourselves here, but remember when they didn't want the fridge to weigh 300 pounds back in 1985? You know, that's 40 years ago. I mean, so yeah, they're bigger, they're more athletic. It's just a sign of the times.
And a couple of these guys are underclassmen too, and I thought they're just going to get bigger.
Right. That's the idea.
Bigger, stronger, more athletic, whatever it is. But anyways, these guys are all the unsung heroes, in my opinion. And they do get some press in that, but not nearly as enough as the guys who make all the plays. But those plays would not be made without these guys up front, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the most critical guys on the team, you know, like it or not, or mentions or not, you know, they just have to be really good. It's got to be it still has to be the foundation of what you're doing on offense. You know, there's the most of them. They play next to each other. They have to work in sync. They've got to work with the quarterback, you know, so they've got to share responsibilities with tight ends, running backs, you know, depending on the blocking scheme. So they've got to be smart in addition to being the gigantic guys that you have on your team.
Right. All right, so let me go through some of these guys, Dan. My All-Dawg team for the offensive linemen, okay? And I'm going to start with the big guys, the really big guys first. And the first one is Rico Schreiber from Marist.
Yes.
Just a big human being, a road grader all year. I will say you are not getting around this guy. And if he gets his hands into you and is able to drive, he pushes you straight back or pushes you exactly the way he wants you to go. And that worked out really well for Marist this year. Rico Schreiber, he's just a huge human being, good football player, tough kid. And he's going to be good at the next level, continuing to develop. I feel like he's somebody who's kind of developed over the last couple of years, but going to continue to develop as he's going to Purdue. He's a
He is like an aircraft carrier for sure.
He is like an aircraft carrier or like a planet. You know, they have a planetarium out at Marist. I think they should name it after Rico Schreiber.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. The other road grader I got here, Dan, is Claude and Puma from Mount Carmel. Just another big guy. And another guy, he gets his hands into you and he's going to move you whatever way he wants to move you, right? You can try and go around him. You can try and go through him. You can try and get in the gap and try and beat him to the inside, but he's got quick feet as well. And he's a tough kid and he moves people around. And a lot of the other players on Mount Carmel, and rightfully so, they got a lot of the pub, a lot of the press. but Claude and Puma did a lot of the dirty work right up front. So he's one of my dogs, Dan.
Yeah, well, that's very deserving. He's also a guy that his best football is probably in front of him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. The other road grader here, and this is center/guard. I think he played both positions this year for DePaul Prep, and that's Carlos Rios.
Oh yeah, your line is big. Boy,
they are big.
No one is getting through your line.
Nobody. I'm putting these guys up front. Nobody is getting through. I think he's 6'4", 315, and he's only a sophomore. So he's going to get bigger and bigger as he goes forward. But anyways, Carlos Rios, another guy that over the course of the year really developed. He's young. He's only a sophomore, like I said, but really played well. And as we saw Tyson Hooks, their running back, get better over the course of the season this year, I think a big reason for that was that Carlos Rios got better and better and tougher up front and was opening up holes. So very well deserving Carlos Rios, another one of my picks from DePaul Prep. The next two guys here, I have Bryce Tenza from Providence. And this is somebody that not only he's not as big as the other three guys that I just mentioned, but what he has is he's got this athleticism as well to go along with the 280 pounds. And he can pull. You can put him at any of the line positions, which they did, and they ran behind him. When they needed the tough yards, they always ran behind Bryce Tenza, whether they put him at guard or tackle. He's a tough kid. And like I said, he's athletic. He can get around the edge, need him to pull. So I really like Bryce Tenza, another really good offensive lineman within the Chicago Catholic League and worthy of a Dog of the Year. And the last pick I have here, Dan, is Brady Hill from St. Francis. And as I was watching some of the tape on some of the linemen, Brady Hill had the most pancakes out of any of the linemen that I watched, right? And I wasn't putting that as a criteria initially when I was looking at it, but I thought he's another guy that's really athletic, moves his feet, and that's why he was able to get these pancakes. These guys could not get off of him. He would get into them, he would move his feet, he would drive them, and then he would bury them into the turf. And we interviewed Brady, and I picture Brady doing that all with a big smile on his face.
Right. Right. Good and smiley. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought those are always the scariest guys out on the football field, the ones who are going to get into you, bury you, and do it with a big smile on.
Yeah, they're going to get up and smile. Yeah.
Really a good offensive lineman. He's going to do great at the next level, I think. I think he's going to San
Diego State.
San Diego State, yes. But Brady Hill, another kid who's played really well this year and very deserving of this, a tough kid. And, they ran behind him a lot this year, moved him around from left guard to right guard because that's where they wanted to run when they needed the tough yards. So congratulations to Brady Hill, another Dog of the Year.
Awesome. All right, Joe. Well, man, we've got quite a few different ones on our list. So that's good because there's a lot of good linemen here. We do have one the same, and that is Bryce Tenza from Providence. Mm-hmm. So I had him on, and a lot of what you said, obviously I agree with, and one thing that you mentioned is that they do a lot with him, and I really like how he blocks in space. That was something that caught my eye, with a few of these guys when I watched them, and he was one. The other thing I noticed, I watched one of may have been their first playoff game. He came out, he was banged up in one of these games. Maybe it was a late game in the season. I can't remember, but you could see a difference when he was not on the field. You absolutely could see it. And one guy playing tackle, making that big of a difference in a team and how they perform and what their offense does says a lot about him. So I'm totally with you. And Bryce Tenza's on my list of 5. My second one, Joe, is going to be Peter LaFleur from St. Viator. He caught my eye early in the year. I really liked how he played. I thought he played with some nasty in him. And one of the things I looked at for interior lineman positions, not that I went by position, but if they played guard or center, I wanted to see if they were capable of blocking that zone block where you might have to come off your initial guy and move to a linebacker. He does this very well. So and there are a lot of plays where it looks like he's effectively blocking two people and one down lineman getting help from the center next to him and moving on to a linebacker on a zone read play. And he does that very well. Really like the way he plays, moves his feet, was a two-way player for St. Fider. So definitely caught my attention and earned a spot on my O-line for All-Dawg team.
Okay.
Third one, Joe. Third one I'm going with is Omar Sadin from St. Ignatius. And, as I was watching the video of Omar, I thought, every team should have an option coach come teach their linemen how to come off the ball on running plays. Right. Yet just his ability to establish a new line of scrimmage and just drive his feet and come off the ball 100 miles an hour. Whether it's, they run mostly gap schemes, so they're running a lot of power and outside toss and some of those things that are a lot of gap schemes. So anytime a team is going to run gap scheme, you've got to have guys that really come off the ball hard. And Omar Sadin does a great job of that. All conference player in the blue, just a really, really nice year and a good player. And my third spot on the All-Dawg offensive line. Joe, my fourth member of this group is just he shined in pass protection, and that is Jalen Strouder from Carmel.
Yeah, good pick. Yeah,
good. Yeah, big. God, he is really good at pass pro, and he's one of those guys that it was amazing to watch him. How guys would start to get a rush, and he would punch, do that. That technique where the offensive linemen, they just go out and they punch a guy, and he would stop a guy in his tracks. A guy could have a lot of momentum, and he just boom. Just both hands inside, bam, using the heavy part of his hands, heavy hands, strong punch, really good pass protection. He would be a guy I would want on the outside protecting the blind side of the quarterback, and he did a great job for that, for Carmel, who threw the ball all over the place.
And Dan, we went out to Carmel this year for one of our Zuko's Dog of the Week presentations, and he stopped me in my tracks when I saw him.
Yeah. Right. Yes. He's a big man.
So, whoa. Okay. I'm going to stop right here and wait for you to go. Go ahead, Jalen.
Yes. Yeah, after you, please. Yeah. Big guy. There's no shortage of size, even though I didn't go with the planet size guys you did on every pick. Right. But my last guy on this offensive line is just a stalwart. He has been a great player ever since he stepped on the field, and that's Christian Malachuk of Nazareth. He is another guy. Now, Nazareth used him all over. They used him at left tackle. They did some interesting things. They're good coaches there, obviously, at Naz, and they do some cool stuff with formations and offensive line. There were times when he was in the backfield, and so to provide at tight end, and maybe on an unbalanced line. But Christian Malachuk plays really hard. He is technically very sound. He is another one of these guys that I would put on the interior because he can do that same zone blocking where he blocks D-line and then out to linebacker. You can tell he is a leader of that group. He is nasty. He plays through the echo of the whistle, which is something you like to see out of your offensive lineman, and a guy that really gets after it. So he's been I think a 3-year starter. So he is a guy that's just continues to get better. He's not a huge guy, but he's thick, and he is very, very good at the fundamentals of offensive line play. And that is a big reason why he's one of my 5 dogs on the offensive line.
Yeah. Awesome pick, Stan. I think, we had 9 total here. We only had 1 kind of crossover, right, between the two of us, and Bryce Tensis. So, but that's good because all of these guys are well deserving of this. They all played really well this year. Yeah.
And Joe, can I mention some of the other guys that were in consideration?
Yes.
Because they all had such good years. So at least for me, maybe there's some that I don't mention that you have, but Michael Harris at Marmion, really nice player. One of our favorites, Angelo DeCensi at Montini. He had a great year for a great offense. Yeah. Ethan Posey at Brother Rice is an outstanding player. He's a junior. He's going to be awesome next year. Tim Harkins at Mount Carmel, all conference player, does a great job. Another interior type guy. Found Alex McDermott at Bennett. Yeah, he's an undersized guy, but the way he comes off the ball and drives, and he's got some of the sticky that you like with offensive linemen, where it's hard to get off of them, like you talked about with Brady. And I think that was it. I don't know if you have any others, Joe, that I might have missed.
Any others, Dan. I think we've covered all the ones that I was looking at as well. So, but a lot of really good offensive line play within the Chicago Catholic League this year, obviously. So, yeah, and all deserving of Dogs of the Year for
you
sure.
You could have mixed and matched all these guys, and you've got an awesome offensive line.
Yeah, you sure do. Okay, and that's today's Dogs of the Trenches, the backbone of every offense and the heartbeat of the pack. These big dogs made sure the skill guys could shine, and they did it with grit, grind, and pride. And stay tuned. We're rolling out new dogs every day as Zuko's 12 Days of Dogs continues all the way to Christmas Eve. And until next time, keep the fire, keep the bite, and remember, every great team's got a little dog in them.